One of the things that cities do is you, of course, provide services. There's a lot of discussion about what essential services are and things. And I want to compliment the city. I believe you're talking and looking into opening up the transfer station and the recycle center on Sunday afternoons. And I think that's something that a lot of the public would like to see, and I think it benefits the community a great deal that you make that decision and go ahead and spend that extra money to keep that open. And I want to compliment you on taking that step. So.
Well, I appreciate that, Gary, because a few years ago that was a budgetary issue that we discussed, and we were looking for ways to cut costs at the time, and some things you change and the citizens don't like it, and that seemed to be one of those that they missed. And at that time I was like, well, we can't close it in the fall and the spring because we've got too many people wanting to do stuff on the weekends to clean up their place, and that's obviously what we want to encourage. And so that's why we went to the 4 weekends in the fall and the spring to allow for that. But since then we've discussed as a commission having a little extra money to be able to pay manpower, because you can't just have one person there. You got to have at least 2 and sometimes 3 if you have the recycle center open at the same time. So it does cost a few dollars, and people have to understand that it's a cost to our budget. But if it's something that citizens really want, we'll talk about it more as a commission and move something along. So I appreciate your comment on that.
Yeah, as we can afford it. The other thing that I'm not sure everybody realizes too, that since we have the reason we're doing that is because we have surpluses, cash surpluses in the solid waste fund. And another hit that was has it started yet, Matt? But the fuel surcharge from the hams, the people that haul it away, does that start right away?
Well, technically speaking, under the city's policy, if the average fuel price of diesel gets over $3.50, we can implement it. Because of our cash surpluses, the city commission waived that for this quarter because we were at like $3.62 or something like that. And the commission's direction was if it gets to $4 a gallon, then we'll implement it. And the last time I looked, which was I think the end of last week, was at $3.82. So the average fuel price for diesel. So while we're being charged by hams their fuel surcharge, because theirs starts at $3, the city commission decided not to implement it until we get to $4. So we may be getting there later this summer, unfortunately.
So we'll just have to monitor that. But there again, it's because of the fees that we charge, and we discussed, well, maybe we should lower several of the departments. Well, if we get surpluses over our reserves that we want, that maybe we should consider reducing those fees. But I think the thought process there too is, well, if we reduce them, then have to raise them back up. Going back and forth, people aren't necessarily in favor of that. So we thought, at least in the solid waste fund, this is a good way to help our citizens out by not tacking on that surcharge, and also being able to offer to open up the landfill and the recycling center on Sundays. So we'll keep trying.